Three, two, one. Recording in progress.
For all film related interviews, reviews, and content, please like and subscribe to Pooja Talwar. You can also follow me on Twitter and on Instagram.
Firstly, many congratulations. As I was saying, it's never too late to start something new. What made you decide that, chalo, up, let me turn to direction?
वो तो करना ही था ना बरसों से. I was meaning to direct ever since I've been a kid. Sometimes you do other things. I did theater and photography and all kinds of things, and I kind of sharpened my skills, was learning over the years, and then finally said, let's make a movie. When you have your responsibilities all in place, because you've got to take out time. I could not have just taken out a couple of months and directed a movie. I needed to take out time, few years to write the movie. And it took a lot out of me to write this movie because it's a simple story, but then for simple stories are the most complicated to write. And you say, how are you going to hold people's attention by just this simple story and a father and a son and they're having a little unbun going on, and that's not good enough. You got to structure it in a particular way that the action escalates. You got to structure in a way that there's a very specific theme to the film which you adhere to right throughout. You have to develop the character arcs, and it's a whole science. And then, of course, while you're doing all that, there's a lot of heart in it. But it takes time. It takes time for a film like this. If it's a plot film and it's a thriller, it can happen in weeks. It can happen in a couple of months, but this took years.
And as you said,
I had to learn how to write.
so as you said, simple stories are actually far more complicated because on the surface of it, it's just about a dad and son basically going through their fractured relationship. But when you look at it, I think parent and child all across have this push and pull, and sometimes the relationship is good, sometimes it's fractured, sometimes you bring it together.
Right.
Was it what came to mind? Was it inspired by something that you had seen around you, or was it that something that you wanted to do, being a dad of two boys yourself?
Yeah, but I don't think that was the thing. When you look at it on the face of it, it's about any kind of relationship in many ways. When you look at it, it's about two human beings who are not communicating. They're trying very hard, and this, no matter what the effort may be, something is just not allowing it to kind of get somewhere. There are attempts made. They say, let's have a drink together. I'll make bhajiyas, and there's a setting. There's some music, and there's a candlelight, and it still goes wrong. But I was looking at the human being and how stupid he can be. Hence Meta Voice. I was looking at the human being and looking at a human being's basic flaws that can really come in the way of pure happiness. Basic flaws. They don't have to be major flaws. They don't have to be fatal flaws. And then at the same time, finding in a human being some wound and taking that wound and harboring that wound. Why? There's no need. You can fix things. And then the other thing, there's movies about lost opportunities. They sat for a meal once, they sat for a meal twice, they sat for a meal and nothing works. It's about going to the airport 3 times. 3 times. Everybody doesn't get those opportunities. Yeah. So it's structured in a way that you talk about when you take the themes and you put it in there, and this is what I want to say. There's a story, which is actually a thin storyline, which is a father loses his mother, 48 hours. How will they do? He has to go. All right. It's the story beneath that story, which is the one that actually needs to be said. And it's about lost opportunities. It's about stupidity. It's about the male ego. It's about masculinity. And the moment you keep those in one little shape and you keep chipping away at that, when you see the movie, you know what I'm saying. You keep chipping away at that. When you say bag mein uthanga, I'll carry my own bags. Okay.
Yeah.
Why? What's your problem? No. I'll pay the bill.
That's typical across.
It's masculinity. It's about showing that I'm the man. It's not about toxic patriarchy, if you know what I'm saying. It's not.
It's not, it's just, yeah, I know what you mean. And as you said about masculinity showing the man, but these slice of life narratives, and also in times where we are showing these hyper alpha misogynistic men, this comes, men, masculinity, this comes as a breath of fresh air. Today, I mean, for somebody who also hosts workshops, writes, what do you think of this creative crunch that the industry is going through? Because you not only an actor, you're a producer, you're a director now, you're also a consumer of cinema.
Yeah, sure. Well, I think it's been more or less the same, and it's more or less the same even in Hollywood. I mean, you look at some of the nonsense that comes out of Hollywood, but we keep trying. So I feel that there is some good stuff coming out. Everybody wants to focus on the bad stuff. I mean, look at this Black Warrant. It's so beautifully crafted. It's crafted well. Lapata Ladies, 12th Fail. I went and revisited one movie which I just fell in love with. It's a movie that came about 10 years ago, I think. It was Aankho Dekhi, Rajat Kapoor's Aankho Dekhi.
Mm-hmm.
And I called up Sanjay Mishra. I said, man, what the hell are you guys doing? It's amazing. It's amazing. Cool. So we can pick and choose and say that this some good writing, some good cinema. And of course, then there's a lot of cinema that, like, over the years, it's been like this. There will be a percentage of cinema that will always keep the flag flying. However, having said that, there is so much of cinema. And for so much of cinema, the fear is, while they work for everybody, the fear is because of the turnover, the quality of writing will suffer. And the quality of writing will suffer, and probably has. I'm just trying to make it sound as nice as possible. The quality of writing suffers, which means that I think that our writers need to be trained and to understand structure, to understand theme, to understand motifs, to understand character arcs, to understand minimalistic dialogue, to not have pages and pages of dialogue telling your story, to bear it up, to pare it down to minimalistic dialogues, economizing. It's an art to economize and say the same thing as strongly as possible. So that's the little contribution I'm trying to make through Spiral Bound with my students who are wonderful, and the support system that's so great, because writing is going to be the key for the next decade, at the next 2 decades. We don't go after.
I hope so, and we give the due credit to our writers, because Hollywood went through that churn of the writers' strike and everything came to a standstill.
There you go.
Yeah, and now you're a writer yourself. What was it like, directing yourself, writing the story, acting? How did it work? Because direction goes beyond a lot of things. It's not just roll, cut, stop.
One word?
Yeah, whatever. 3 words.
Easy.
Really?
Yeah, and I'll tell you why. Because the writing part was difficult. Because so much of time was spent on the writing process to make the film. Because a film like this can easily, in the name of slow burn, and it's not slow burn, spread itself and say, let's take our own sweet time to tell. No, the movie has to keep moving, not through twists and turns and plot twists and turns, through character, and push the pain and the conflict. So that was prime on my mind when writing the film, that if all my cues come across in the writing, the acting will be easy. Production design will be easy to understand. The cinematography, people will get their cues from there. The costume design, people get their cues from there. And we had prepped this film thoroughly. However, after prepping, there will be problems on the set. There will be some glitches, and you've got to then improvise on your feet, think on your feet, and come up with solutions. But we took a lot of time prepping the film after the writing process. I want this. The window should be here. It should be here. He's sitting on the gadela over here. The wall should have a patch of red over here. And it was all planned. Even the camera movements were planned. Everything was planned. And then, of course, we improvised. So it made my life really easy, because if I was not acting in the film, maybe I wouldn't have prepped so hard. But because I was acting, I had to prep hard to go on the set and not say, okay, what are we going to do this morning? We couldn't do that. So I'm grateful in a sense that it became easier to direct because I was acting, because I prepped thoroughly.
And did you take any tips from your homegrown director as well? You have someone in reference?
Everyone, of course, Kayose gives me tips all the time about it.
Are you unlike Mr. Mehta and
Very much, very much. Mr. Mehta, no, very much. You got to listen. You got to listen in his, he's got so much of, he's dealing with all a whole bunch of young people who can give, he could give me a lot of advice. My old friends Ram and Raju and the great Mr. Benigal and so many people, Vinod Chopra, so many people. You just pick from everyone what their best feature is on a set. You got to learn from that. You got to understand that, this is their best feature. Use it. Don't shout. Talk softly on a set. Whisper. Tell an actor just this much, this much, this much. Just that's all you got to do. So I did take a leaf out of a lot of people's books. But my voice, I had made up my mind. My voice should be my voice. It should be a voice that this is my film, and I should narrate it in my tone,
If I was to ask you what's your voice, what would you say? How would you describe it? Your voice? How, if you were to talk about your voice, how would you describe it if somebody asked, what's your voice? What's the tone?
Firstly, it has to be unique.
Yeah.
Even if you're inspired by a certain movie, it still has to be unique at the end of the day. Number one. And so it's something that we've not seen before. It's something fresh. Even if the story, you may have seen a father-son story before. And secondly, and most importantly, it should be a reflection, and it should be something, even if the story is not personal, the film should be personal to you.
Yeah.
It's very important that the film should be extremely personal, that your personality will somehow creep into the film. It will. You can't avoid that. I can't be making a David Fincher film. You know what I'm saying? And then the most important part is, if you don't love the story, the audience won't.
Yeah.
Simple. I enjoyed making this film. I did not get any sleepless nights.
Awesome. Looking forward to that. And also on the acting front, what next? And has the process of you as an actor changed over the past few years? Because you've given some phenomenal stuff.
Writing has helped me greatly to understand a structure of a scene, to understand the want of the character in a particular scene, or the want of the character in the whole structure of a film. This is the first act, and the first act is this. The second act is escalation and conflict, and the third act is resolution. So you are not going to be giving wild scenes in Act 1. The wild scenes of conflict will happen in Act 2, and resolution is a different kind of pitching for an actor. Understanding what does he really want in this film, in this story. What does he want in this scene? What is it? What is obstacles, and how is he navigating those obstacles? And while he's navigating those obstacles, how do we expose the real true person that he is? We can't say pages and pages of वो ऐसा है बचपन में ऐसे करता था, ऐसे कुछ नहीं. We just have to expose the character through the way he negotiates his character. Aaron Sorkin said that. So it's very nice that the writing aspect has come to teach me about acting.
Now, what next after this? After the Mehta voice, the fabulous Mehta voice?
I have no idea.
Really?
Yeah, I have no idea. I'll be working on something soon. There are lots of things in the pipeline. It's just that I've been so goddamn busy with this, giving it the finishing touches, and finally screenings and the interviews and whatnot, and give something its required and respectful time. Give it the time. You can't say that I'm doing this now and then I'm going to shoot tonight for... No. This is allotted for this. Finished.
A lot of people could take a leaf out of your book to understand, because it's the hustle culture. But एक चीज क्या समझ आया अब डायरेक्शन के बाद, as we are wrapping up, एक चीज that कभी सोचा नहीं था कि ऐसे भी होता है?
एक चीज क्या समझ में आया? कि we have to follow your dream.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Thank you.
can't say that I'll अगर मैं कर सकता ना करके दिखाओ.
Thank you so much. And I heard you had a blast at screening your movie at Regal Cinema, which
It
actually
was amazing.
it was our childhood cinema of the time, was time.
You know, Pooja, I went and pointed out the seats where I was sitting. I was here for Kramer versus Kramer. I was there for Close the Cuckoo's Nest. I was here for Sound of Music. I was here for Gandhi. I was there for Anne of a Thousand Days. I was here for Fondran's Express. Here. That's why.
Wow.
And Aslam Bhai, the projectionist, I gave him a shout out to. He's been there for 53 years.
Wow.
And it was so beautiful. Now today I'm here for the Mehta boys in front of my own people. It was such a beautiful moment.
Awesome. That's lovely. That's indeed lovely. All the very best, sir.
I want you to see the movie soon, though, Pooja.
I will. I will watch it.
They'll send a screener.
वो अभी भेजेंगे तो I'll watch it for sure. I
Okay.
watched the trailer and I just loved it. I was like, old men all across the world are the same. I'm sure your sons would say the same.
I'm sure.
That's what we are all about.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Pooja. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye.
If you've liked this interview, please like, share, and subscribe. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram.